Welcome back. So there are several ways to use Tailwind CSS. The first one that we've explored is using the playground. That's play.tailwind.css. But this one, you're not going to really build an application based on this. And that's the reason why we downloaded this Visual Studio Code application. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to use a CDN link, and a CDN in full represents Content Delivery Network. It's basically a link that you just put in your source code, and it actually allows you to be able to use that type of framework from a server somewhere. I'll not go deeper to explain what a CDN is, but basically just that's what it means. And we are going to try and find or create this type of button. Just go back to VG Indigo. It looked nice, and then select the 500 version opacity. It's like this, and the text, let's put it white. And white does not have opacity. It's white. Okay. So let's undo. Yes, this is what we want to achieve. And to do that, we first have to go to our source, our code editor. You can create a new folder or something like that, but I'm just going to open a folder. If you click on File, Open, or Open Folder, just click on Open Folder, then navigate to wherever you want on your machine. I'm going to use this type of location where I've already created this Tailwind CSS folder. You can create any folder from at any location and just click on it and click on Open, because I'm going to start coding from scratch in this tutorial series. Then trust the authors of this file. Yes, I trust the authors. Just close the welcome file, and here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to create a file, and it's called cdn.html. and these are the benefits of using Visual Studio Code. I can just use the shorthand, which is exclamation mark then tab, and it gives me the HTML5 template. Then here I'll do Tailwind CDN, right, then save. So to use the Tailwind CDN to create this kind of button, I can just go to the Tailwind home. Okay, so tailwindcss.com, just go to the tailwindcss.com URL and then click on docs. After that, go to play CDN. As you can see here, it's under documentation, play CDN. Then after that, copy this script tag here. It's a script tag. Then navigate to your code in Visual Studio Code. I've named this one cdn.html. I'm actually going to rename this one to be 04 cdn.html just to match these items. Then below, it doesn't really matter what you name it here, just name it something. I'm just named it 04 cdn.html just for tracking purposes. Then below the title, I can paste the script tag. Normally the script tags go to the bottom of the HTML code just before the closing body tag, but in this case, because CDNs are, you want to load the CDN link before you even load whatever is in the body tag, you have to place it on top, right? Because the way browsers read our HTML files is from the top to the bottom, so you want it to be loaded first before any item here is loaded. Okay, I'm going to save that. Then I'm going to click on go live. Remember, our live server is going to take us to this browser. Okay, so this is an empty plate because we have not put anything here. Remember our classes, so I'm going to just copy this, not the whole thing. The classes, these are div classes. Visual Studio comes with something called emmet, which is a shorthand. I can just type like this, div, and then put these classes like this. So a class starts with a full stop, and ID starts with a hashtag. Okay, then here we have a padding of 5. If I place tab, it's going to create a div with all the classes input in it. Next, we have these classes if I just save this and go to the browser, you see Tailwind CSS, you see this is the link that we used, the live server button. You see port 5500. If we come here, it's port 5500, as you can see it here. Okay. So as I type the code in the Visual Studio Code application here, then it automatically reflects here as well on our live server. That's the reason why we used the extension. Next, I'm going to have a button, and this button is going to have several classes, and the first one is BG Indigo, background of Indigo, and it has an opacity of 500. And the next class as per this is text white, and then a padding X of 3 and a padding Y of 2. And then what am I leaving? Capitalize, and then the font should be medium, if I remember well. If I press tab, it should have created that button. Then inside, if I press Ctrl S, then go, you see the button looks like this. But watch this. If I just say something like Tailwind CSS button, look at this. If I press save, that's it. We've created a similar button like this here with everything. If you want to change the text to be exactly like what we created, this is a button. Get S. Okay, it's the same thing as you can see here. So that's how you're able to use CDN. That's the content delivery network. It's basically an array of servers around the world, which brings the link or this framework using this link close to you. Okay, so it makes it easier. One thing to remember about this is our code will only work when there is internet, because it needs to communicate to this HTTPS. That's a website URL. Okay, so you cannot use a content delivery network if you are not connected to the internet. That's it. See you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.